Welcome into Football Guys Sunday Morning Live. I am Joey Wright. Adam Hutchinson's here. Colton Dodgson. Guys, Adam, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was told you were going to sing to start the show. I was expecting
I
a
was
little.
gonna sing welcome. Was it welcome from Cabaret? But then I chickened out. I chickened out.
I know, and
so
I was going to call.
maybe
I
I'll
had to
end the
call you
show
out
on it.
live. I had to call you out live just to let people know what was going on behind the scenes. We were let down. Joey said he was going to sing to start the show. No, I'm doing well. We got college basketball back, which is always a good thing for me. You know, we're a couple of hoop junkies, but we're here to answer people's fantasy football questions. So I'm excited.
We are. I did take in some college basketball on Friday night with my oldest daughter. Went to the home opener for Stetson. That's the closest D1 school we have to us here. Really great time. As always. Colton, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. Yeah, like you guys said, getting basketball back is sweet. I like the NBA too, man. I love college basketball, but the NBA it has been fun too. So it's that part of the sports calendar where balancing football with basketball is always a lot of fun. So we're past baseball, we're past watching the Dodgers, which is great. So
all right. Excellent. Yeah, it sounds great. I think we're all ready for this morning. Watching some of the Berlin game. Not a bad one. A lot better than what we got served up to us Thursday night. Just a reminder, if you're watching us here on the Football Guys Live YouTube channel, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe and click the little like button. If we put NFL in the description, we found out a little Smiling Football shows up. So click that like button, get in there, get excited. We're going to help you with some starts and sits today. Before we do that, we're going to look at injuries. Adam, let's talk about Brian Thomas Jr. Will be out today. How long are we expecting him to be on the shelf?
Yeah, I mean, I think he could actually miss another week. Adam Schefter called it like a mild or grade 1 high ankle sprain, which is good. I mean, players tend to miss minimal time when a high ankle sprain is minor, but typically that is an injury that makes cutting difficult, accelerating up the field. Those are things Brian Thomas Jr. obviously has to do to be an effective wide receiver. Also, catching the ball would probably be helpful for Brian Thomas Jr. to be an effective wide receiver. But I expect him to, I expect him to miss at least one more week. But I wouldn't expect much more than that. 1 to 2 weeks is what I was projecting.
All right, Colton, if you've got to start a Jaguars pass catcher today it's a tough Houston defense, who would be the pass catcher you're looking at?
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when you mentioned the matchup here. The matchup really scares me. Also, Trevor Lawrence's ongoing battle with accuracy scares me a little bit. So this is one of those matchups where, in my mind, like if I have Parker Washington, he's the one guy I'm probably okay with at this point. Beyond that, I would think that there are some better options around. Beyond, starting some of these fill-ins against a really good Houston defense.
Excellent. Yeah. Speaking of Houston, CJ Stroud will be out. We have Davis Mills out there with us today. Kayshon Boutte is out against the Buccaneers, as well as Ramondre Stevenson. Colton, I'm going to go right back to you. Travion Henderson, is this the week we could start him with a little bit of confidence?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Travion Henderson in the Ramondre Stevenson role last week. 75% of the snaps, right? That was good. But it is still clear that Terrell Jennings will play a role, and specifically when they get closer to, goal to go situations, things like that, Terrell Jennings is going to be involved, at least based on the usage we saw last week. It does seem like a system where the preference is to, and most systems are like this, where you're not going to lean on one single guy. The snap percentages were promising, right? To see him a little more involved. I think you have to continue to be inspired by that, right? Be a little more optimistic. And that type of usage, I think in terms of the versatility too, I think he could be a solid option this week.
Yeah, I made a trade last night. It was my daughter's 6th birthday party at a bounce place, a trampoline place. And my father-in-law and I were talking, and I traded Quentin Johnston. Boy, those names are going to confuse me for the next 10 years. Quentin Johnston for Travion Henderson. I needed a running back. It just felt like it was kind of a lateral move. Like I didn't feel like I was giving up too much. I'm pretty good at wide receivers. So I feel pretty good about it. On the Bucks, Godwin is out. Bucky Irving is out. I think a lot of us, especially me, we're hoping Bucky Irving is going to be back this week coming out of the bye. Adam, like, do we have any tea leaves? Do we have anything to read on Bucky Irving at this point?
We really don't. I did expect him to miss a decent amount of time when he came out with the pair of injuries with the foot and the shoulder, but this is even a little bit longer than I expected or had anticipated. Definitely got to wonder why Tampa Bay did not put Bucky Irving on IR at this point, given the length of time that he's missing. I think he's inching closer back. Honestly, the foot injury was, in my opinion, going to be the more limiting injury. That's a difficult injury for NFL running backs. They typically miss a lengthy amount of time. So understandable, frustrating. I get it. But yeah, we don't have a whole lot right now. I think we're just playing the waiting game, but I would anticipate him to be close.
All right. And then Jaden Daniels, we saw what happened with him this week. So he will be out for an extended period of time, but not put on IR, as I guess it wasn't his throwing arm. Terry McLaurin also out this week, but I want to talk about Jaden Daniels. Adam, like, can we expect him back this season? Is it possible?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I don't know how probable it is. I had anticipated this potentially being a season-ending injury, just given where Washington is this season. But I think they're leaving the door open for a potential return, depending on how these next couple of weeks go. It's a good sign that the elbow doesn't need surgery. It's a good sign that it was his non-throwing shoulder. But, there's some reports that it was a clean dislocation, no ligament damage. Anytime you have a dislocation, you're going to have some type of ligament damage. So Jane Daniels, more of us felt kind of quarterback. We've seen some injuries pile up this year. I think a little bit because he is more of a mobile rushing quarterback and not great at avoiding contact. So I would anticipate at least 3 weeks. I really think this is at minimum a 4-week injury. So it was surprising not to see him put on IR, but I think Washington is just leaving the door open. If they're in playoff contention, Jane Daniels could return, but I'm not excited about it. I'm not very optimistic about it.
Gotcha. All right. Looking at some questionable players today. Most of these players, except for one, look like they probably are going to play today. Aaron Jones, Ollie Gordon, Harold Fannin, Alvin Kamara, Matthew Golden look like they're probably going to play today. Cooper Kupp seems to be the big question mark. I've got a question for both of you as it pertains to Cooper Kupp. Colton, if Cooper Kupp does not play today, would you be okay starting Rashid Shaheed in his first game with the Seahawks?
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about that a little bit and looking at the matchup with Arizona and just how banged up this Arizona secondary is as well. Will Johnson, Max Melton, both of those guys aren't going to play in this game. And then typically when you look at a trade deadline acquisition, you're kind of worried about how long is it going to take these guys to ramp up, learn the system, that sort of thing. But with Rashid Shaheed, he's played in Clint Kubiak's system before, right? So, like, how long is it really going to take him to get up to speed? And then without Torrey Horton, too, which, I mean, Joey, you called that one last week, but without Torrey Horton, and if Cooper Kupp isn't in the mix either, like, they might need to lean on Rashid Shaheed and really bank on that previous knowledge of this system. And the way that this offense is operating right now with the efficiency that Sam Darnold has played with, he impresses me every week. I think Rashid Shaheed in this spot, you could do much worse.
Perfect. Yeah, we called Torrey Horton last week. You gave me some props later into the show, Colton, and I went back and I watched the tape, and it was a community effort here on Sunday Morning Live to recommend Torrey Horton and Kyle Monungai, just to put that out there too. We nailed Kyle Monungai. So no touchdown, but
there we go.
Was it 193 total yards in the game? Like, yeah, we'll talk about
he did good
a little later.
Look how humble Joey is, man.
No, I'm not.
Look how humble
I don't like
Joey
being that
is.
guy.
Team first guy right there.
Listen, people.
Right there.
Own your. Oh no, own your takes, good and bad. So I don't know. All right,
it's still not better than Pedialyte. The nickname Pedialyte for Kate Otten is Joey's signature moment on this show. You'll never be able to top it.
It's catching on. On the Dynasty show on Friday, somebody dropped Pedialyte and I was pretty excited about it. So
That's a good nickname.
You know, it's a snowball effect. 1, 2, 3, 4 shows soon. Soon on national television. We'll see. All right. Expected to play today: Garrett Wilson, Teteroa McMillan, DeAndre Swift is expected to play today. He had a personal family situation, which was why he missed practice on Friday, so it was not injury related. And Cedric Tillman activated off the IR. Adam, with Tillman, are we expecting him to be up and running right away, or
up and running? Yeah. It sounds like he's gotten an ample amount of time to recover from his hamstring injury. I don't know how eager people are to play really anyone in the Browns offense outside of Quinshon Judkins and maybe the tight ends, but he'll be dressed. He'll be out there. He's a warm body. If you need somebody to plug in the lineups, he's there.
Perfect. And then not expected to play today. We hit on it a little earlier. Torrey Horton. All right, we are going to get right into your questions now. All right. Jim, this question for us. Good morning. Half point PPR for the flex. Kyle Monangai or Kamani Vidal? Thank you. Colton, pick a running back.
I love that you went to me for this one because Kamani Vidal shattered my heart last week. I think right now, man, the mat, and it's going to be interesting to see how the usage breaks down between DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai, right? But right now, Kyle Monangai against this Giants defense too, that didn't look particularly good slowing down the run last week. They were 10th worst in expected points added per rush allowed. And given what we saw Monangai do, it is against the Bengals. Context is important. But I do think Kyle Monangai right now is kind of the hot hand, and you have to ride that. Whereas the wrecking doll, man, he kind of stopped swinging a little bit.
That's a good name too. With Monangai, Colton kind of hit on it. They played the Bengals and they gave up the most fantasy points to opposing running backs this year. Is it just a one performance type of thing? No, because the Giants give up the second most fantasy points to opposing running backs. So Swift's going to be involved today, but I am starting Monangai everywhere I can. Like I think he's definitely going to get work. We've seen multiple running backs do fine against the Giants this year. So we're good. All right. And to the next question. Adam, good morning, guys. My opponent has Daniel Jones going at quarterback. Would you play Alec Pierce or Darius Slayton? Well, we can't actually start players after the game start. I imagine you got in here real early this morning, Mark. Hopefully you played Alec Pierce because that's looking like he's having a good game.
Touchdown.
Yep. Although I was a little irritated because right as I was making a graphic this morning, because the score was 6-7, and I was like, I'm going to make one for the kids. And then Alec Pierce scored a touchdown, and I just dragged that graphic to the trash can. It's like done. All right.
Thank
Good
God
morning.
for Alec Pierce.
I know. I don't know. Get the kids watching. I need 3 for a PPR league. Marvin Harrison Jr., Quinshon Judkins, Stephon Diggs, Jamison Williams, Christian Watson, Rashad White. Thanks for your wisdom. Oh, Colton. Give Michael some wisdom. What 3 players?
Oh, wisdom. I love that.
Actually, you pick one, and then Adam and I are both
going to pick one. Perfect. So I get the easiest call then, maybe. We'll see. I think right now, man, especially off of a bye and with the Jets just completely decimating whatever they had on defense, I think Quinshon Judkins has to be the layup here. All right. And now I'm going to pass it off to you guys now that I got the layup out of the bunch.
All right, Adam, I'll let you go second. I'll take the hard one.
I mean, with Bucky Irving out, Rashad White seems like an instant plug and play. So I'm going to spite Joey, and I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneer so that he can't pick one. And
I thought that's what I was going to. I thought you were going to leave me to do that. I'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. He's getting involved in this offense. So Marvin Harrison Jr., Rashad White, and Quinshon Judkins are your 3 players. Michael, good luck today. Hopefully you win. Diesel, good morning and happy Sunday. Fun day. Happy seeing you here. Loveland or Hunter Henry at tight end? Colton, pick one.
Yeah. Let's see. Loveland, man. That game last week was special. Every time I'm laughing because every time we're talking about the Bears, it's like, but they played the Bengals, But at the same time, like the Giants haven't been significantly better either. So I don't think this is a bad spot to try to ride the hot hand a little bit. And Kayshon Boutte being out could impact Hunter Henry a little bit, but and make him a more positive play here. But I still think I'm leaning Loveland. I liked what I saw last week.
All right.
And then
Joey,
I don't know if we can help with the last one because Downs is already playing. But
yeah,
I would have gone Downs for the record.
All right. Good morning, everyone. We'll be right with you at 11 a.m. There I am. All right. Good morning. Pick one, full PPR. Why do you have to pick Nakua or JSN? Adam, I guess pick one, but why? Can you not play them both?
It's got to be Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's like the wide receiver one in fantasy. That guy needs to be in all lineups. It's tough. Like you said, those are both instant start wide receivers, but if I got to pick one, I'm picking JSN.
I think Blaker's coming in here to brag to us. I don't think he actually has a question. All right. Well, good luck today. Andrew, Breece Hall or Chris Olave? Colton.
Yeah. I talked about the other side of this matchup with the Jets defense. Meanwhile, Cleveland's defense has been really good and especially good at slowing down the run, right? What is morale going to be like on this Jets team too? I do think I'm going to lean Chris Olave here over Breece Hall until kind of, especially with this matchup. I think this matchup is kind of the deciding factor here for me. So I would lean Chris Olave in this one.
I don't have a start of the week, but I have a sit of the week, and it's Breece Hall. I'm sitting him everywhere because this Browns defense is awesome. And maybe I'll take a little trip down Narrative Street. Hey, Jeff Bell, we'll see you in a little bit. Breece Hall's not happy, and Isaiah Davis is getting passing downs work. I don't know. I'm going to go Breece Hall. I'm going to sit Breece Hall. All right. Adam, Tez Johnson, Slayton, or Vidal? Pick one.
He wasn't great last week, but I do like the matchup for Kamani Vidal this week against the Steelers. Steelers have been kind of like a sneaky bad rush defense. So I'm going to go back to the guy I know is going to get a lot of touches. He is the RB1 in Los Angeles as long as Omarion Hampton's out. So give me some Kamani Vidal.
All right. Epidemic 619. Hola, mi amigos. And let's have glorious victories on week 10. What a beautiful message to start our Sunday. I love it. And standard, would you go with Woody Marks or Jordan Mason, Colton? Pick one.
Yeah, man, I was just looking into this matchup a little bit for Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones specifically, and that might be why I'm leaning away from Jordan Mason a little bit, because I think Aaron Jones is clearly back in the mix here and he's going to be involved. But this Ravens defense really turned a corner last week. They're finally healthy, right? They looked like an advantageous matchup there for a little bit without Roquan Smith and some of their other pieces, but all of those guys are back. And they have been a pretty stout defense, especially last week in that Thursday night, or whenever they played the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. I think that was last week, but they looked real solid. So I think I'm leaning Woody Marks here. That matchup for Jordan Mason plus the split, I think it is going to be pretty frustrating.
All right, I agree. Blaker's got a quarterback question. Darnold or Williams? I've got Williams ranked about 6 spots ahead of Darnold this week, so it's Caleb Williams pretty comfortably for me. Brian, good luck today and saying hello to us. Jameson or Woody? So Colton, I'm going to go right back to you. You gave some love to Woody Marks on the last question. Would you play Jameson Williams over Woody Marks, though?
Yeah, I think you talked about Narrative Street a little bit, right? With one of the previous questions, and Jameson Williams might fit into that category ever so slightly. We do have him ranked higher in our consensus rankings, about 13 spots higher. Jameson Williams over Woody Marks. Just recognize that Jameson, and especially against this Washington defense too, that's another matchup that you can really exploit right now. You might not get a whole lot by way of like PPR floor or anything like that, but if you score on the 40-yard touchdown, I think that'll make up for it. And this is a matchup that he could do that against. So give me Jameson Williams over Woody.
All right. Adam, pick 2 for PPR. Addison, ETN, Monungai, and Coker.
Man, I'm going to put Jordan Addison in there. I think he's been good enough, especially in a PPR league, that we can count on him. I am also going to play Travis Etienne. I get the Kyle Monungai thing, but we just talked about at the beginning of the show. DeAndre Swift is expected to play. That is going to factor into Kyle Monungai's work. And I don't think we've really seen anything from Jalen Coker this year to feel comfortable putting him near fantasy lineup. So give me Addison and Etienne.
All right. Irish, top of the morning to you. Oh, I like that. PPR, Debo, Jalen Warren, or Rashad White. Adam, pick between Warren, Debo, and Rashad White.
Ooh, man. I think I'm still going to go with Rashad White. I think
Okay.
Even when Bucky's out, I mean, Rashad White has some, I was going to say, even when Bucky's in, Rashad White has seen some goal line work with him out. I think he's going to be the goal line back. And if nothing else in PPR leagues, Rashad White is functioned as a capable wide receiver coming out of the backfield. So I'll take Rashad White.
Perfect. And I guess the Falcons kicked a field goal to go up 17-13, but then Ashton Doolin just returned to kick 50 yards. So good field position there for the Colts. Like a good game. All right. And then last, Marks, Gadsden, and Henderson. Do we answer that or no? Colton, you want to take that?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think I can. Man, I love Oronde Gadsden. I think he's been awesome. I almost view him more as like a wide receiver with tight end eligibility right now. Like that, that's how good he's been and how involved he's been in this passing attack. So I think it feels crazy. It will always feel crazy for me flexing tight ends. But we're in a position now where Gadsden, like I said, is the one that you can consider there, especially over those two options. So I think give me Gadsden.
All right. And Jonathan Taylor just hit 99 total yards on the day. So he's having himself a day again. Matthew, question for us between Malik Washington, Jameson Williams, and Tez Johnson. Adam, pick one.
Malik Washington Jr. I think it would go. Oh man. I'm gonna go with Jameson Williams. I really want the JMO thing to happen, and it's just been like hit or miss. It's been like 15 points or 0 points. It is a risky play, but these are all kind of risky options. So I'm gonna go with Jameson Williams.
Would you go JMO over Travion or Keenan Allen?
I don't think I would in a non-PPR league. Okay. I think I would rank him. Yeah, I think I would rank him last. It would be tough to pick between Travion Henderson and Keenan. I know we want the Travion Henderson thing to happen, and we keep saying this is the week, this is the week, this is the week. It's hard to trust a guy until you see it. So I think I would lean Keenan Allen in that one, even in a non-PPR league. I just know that he's going to be involved in that Chargers offense, and he's not going to give me a goose egg.
All right. Two of our most faithful viewers in here this morning. Andrea saying good morning. The Vi Queen here with us, and she has a question. Good morning, guys. Pick one, wide receiver and two flex. Tez Johnson, Quentin Johnston, Darius Slayton, Aaron Jones, or Gadsden. Colton, pick one wide receiver and then two flex.
One wide receiver. I think I want Tez has the Patriots, though. I think I'm going to go Tez. I think I'm still going to lean Tez.
Okay.
And then the two flex options, give me Gadsden. We'll stick with Gadsden and then Quentin Johnston. So at the end of the day, you're still getting Quentin Johnston. Give me both Chargers, though, out of that last group of four.
All right. Coastal Elite in here. Must think Jeff's already on the show. Greetings, fine people. Ted McMillan with a possible suspect hammy versus New Orleans, or DJ Moore versus the Giants? Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Tedero McMillan is gearing up to play. This week, they, report from Schefter early this morning indicated that. I don't feel great about putting him into fantasy lineups, just given the hamstring injury, how it was kind of late in the week. And Tedero McMillan's been good, but he certainly hasn't been blockbuster. I think for fantasy perspective, we expect a little bit more. This is a good matchup with New Orleans, but, just wide receivers coming off of or on the final injury report with a hamstring injury on average, see about 20% decline in fantasy production. That's enough for me to pivot to some other sturdy options, which I think in this instance, DJ Moore is somebody that I would be willing to pivot to.
Excellent. Thank you for listening to the I was on Liz Loz's pod this week. Had a lot of fun over there. Thanks for listening. I appreciate that. And then Colton, Nico or Odunze?
Well, this is I'm looking at the time here and I'm like, this might actually be a good segue. But I'm gonna go Odunze. I like Odunze a lot this week, and I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more about that in just a second.
Oh, I set you up for
Oh,
yeah, I knew what I was doing there.
Did you there? I
Yeah.
knew you were putting that together for me, man.
Yep.
I appreciate that. But I've actually gone with Rome before, and I didn't know if that like disqualified him, but he's kind of fallen out of that like set and forget tier, I think, over the last couple of weeks. And now we even get a squeaky wheel narrative, not necessarily from him, but from his dad, right?
Yeah.
And that's always fun. But when you look at this matchup too, man, and look at last week and the fact that everybody got in on the Bengals shootout except for Rome Odunze, essentially, right? You look at how brutal the Giants have been against wide targets over the last 2 weeks, and this feels like an awesome get right for Rome. Pass defense is allowing plus 0.34 expected points added per play, 3 touchdowns, and 7.4 yards per play over that span, 2 wide targets. Okay, so or that's on the season, and then over the 2-game span, that jumps up to plus 0.105, a touchdown and a half, and 11.3 yards per play to wide targets. And then you have the Giants' red zone defense, which has also been brutal. 3.5 total touchdowns and 5.8 pass yards per play in the red zone. That's what the Giants give up. So you look at all of that stuff and how brutal the Giants have been against wide targets. Rome's dad tweeting it out, and I don't know if Ben Johnson is the guy that'll subscribe to the squeaky wheel theory, but I do think this is a week where Rome could be involved in following up that explosive game that the Bears had last week.
Awesome. Well, Colton, thank you for being here today, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. It's always a good time.
Always a blast.
Colton.
Thanks for recommending Rome Odunze and just being here with us. Who do the Eagles play today? They play the Packers tomorrow, I think.
They play tomorrow. We got the Packers tomorrow, and I have a wedding that I have to go to tomorrow. So that is going to be an all-time test of wills for me.
Yeah, who gets married on a Monday?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Hey, I have to say the Monday rates are probably insanely like you can't pass that up. But I will probably have the phone out under the table.
Understandable.
Yeah. So hopefully nobody's watching. Hopefully nobody from that will be at the wedding is watching. I don't think
I hate
they
to bring it down like this, but statistically, people that get married on Mondays, especially during football season, 50-50 divorce. Like, sorry, this is the numbers. I can't make that up. So
I knew you were a numbers guy.
I want to know what the numbers are when they get married during Eagles games specifically.
My wife and I got married during an Eagles playoff game. Oh, and half of her family is from Pennsylvania. They were not happy. I can't imagine they were. Yeah, they were. Did you have the game on at least? Sorry, we're dragging this out. Did you have the game on at least? No. A lot of phone checking during the reception. But her family let us know about it. So. But we're still married, so there you go. We got married during an Eagles playoff game. So. There you go. That's all that matters, man. That's awesome. All right, Colton. Thanks for being here with us. All right. Later, guys. Yep. And without further ado, we're going to bring our good buddy, Jeff Bell, up in here. Jeff, what's up, buddy?
Joey, it's Sunday. We've got early morning football. We actually have a watchable game going on right now between the Colts and the Falcons. So that's exciting. We've got fantasy pieces are doing fantasy things in this game. So everything's good. You know, we're in that stretch right before Thanksgiving. We're kind of honing in. We're waiting to see how fantasy playoff standings shake out. It's a good time to be good. Awesome. Adam, I didn't forget you. We're going to go to your start of the week, third this week. We're going to go to Jeff. Talk to us about Quinshon Judkins coming back off the bye. Yeah, I said last week that, and I said 2 weeks ago that I can pick good players in these spots. And last week, my start of the week did something. I think since the first time that DK Metcalf had his revenge touchdown in week 2 or 3. So I was excited to see Parker Washington last week. And this week, I'm going to go with Quinshon Judkins. And one of my big things that I'm watching this week, and I talked about it with Dave on the Friday show, is Quit Watch. We've got a lot of these teams that made trades, that traded away starting players. The Jets, a primary example of it. We're seeing one of those players playing right now with Sauce Gardner, no longer a New York Jet. Quinnen Williams is another one. And the Jets' run defense was bad with Quinnen Williams against running backs, especially in fantasy. They were top 10 in most fantasy points allowed. Quinnen Williams was the number 1 run-stopping defensive tackle on PFF's grades. So they were bad with the guy that's number 1 at stopping the run. They're going to be bad without him. And so I think that we're seeing the Browns here I'm not sure the Browns are at the same level of give up as the Jets have been. I think they gave up before the season started and they've been living with the give up now. And so Judkins is one of 3 players that have had over 21 rushes in 3 different games. And so that tells you they're willing to pour it on him a little bit. The efficiency's not been great the last couple of weeks, running into a good matchup here against the Jets. I think he finds the end zone a couple of times. I don't think anybody's getting cute and not putting Quinshon Judkins. There's Quinnen Williams, Quinshon Judkins, and when I was writing this whole thing up, it was like a lot of Quinn going around, but I think Quinshon Judkins is the start of the week.
Jeff, you'll go back on the show. I had the same slip up with Quentin Johnston and Quinshon Judkins.
And then throw Williams in there as well, and it's just
Parents, it's too similar. Get creative with your names if you have an NFL caliber baby. Just name them different so we have an easier job. Thank you.
Go with Quinn. Just call him out.
Quinn. Yeah. Well, there's a Quinn Ewers down in Miami that might be playing at some point this season. So I don't know. All right, Adam, let's hear about Parker Washington.
Yeah, I mean, you got to piggyback off of smart people, right? I mean, Jeff picked this guy last week and he left him for me this week. So I figured, why not? Even with a healthy Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, Parker Washington's had a sneaky target share this year, above 15%. Average depth of target's been pretty good as well. Jags just traded for Jacoby Myers. They've already said Parker Washington is going to resume his slot role. Texans have the second highest rate of zone defense. Obviously, slot wide receivers are in an advantageous spot against zone defenses. They can find those pockets. When we look at Parker Washington, fantasy points versus man defense, 1.32 versus zone 1.42. So obviously a guy that's been better versus zone defenses this year. Texans, like I mentioned, one of the best or one of the most frequent users of that zone defense. So yeah, give me some Parker Washington this week.
All right. I love to hear it. All right. We're going to get right back into your starts and sits. In just a second, Jeff, I want you to take us down Narrative Street. Let us know what revenge games we got going on out there.
It's not a great week, to be honest, Joey, for revenge. We have Christian Kirk, Houston Texan, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars for the second time this year. We have AJ Dillon, who's probably not going to play very much as an Eagle. And when I missed Colton, enjoy your wedding. AJ Dillon's probably not going to play very much against the Packers, but he would be in a revenge spot. Jimmy Garoppolo, backup quarterback for the Rams, going up against the 49ers. Tyrod Taylor, backup quarterback, maybe backup quarterback for the New York Jets, going up against Cleveland Browns. Malachi Corley, you remember him? He was going to be the next big guy. He's playing for the Browns now, going up against the Jets. Dare Ogunbowale gets a revenge game about every other week at this point, and he's a Houston Texan going up against the Jaguars. Najee Harris is not going to be able to make it to the Chargers Pittsburgh game. That would have been probably the headliner for revenge this week. And then we did have Jarrett Stidham, backup Denver quarterback, went against the Raiders. We had Albert Okwuegbunam going against the Denver Broncos. So that was our revenge for this week.
If you would have skipped that, nobody would have called you out on that one. And you just, you drove yourself into that one, Jeff.
Can I give us one more for Narrative Street?
Oh yeah.
I'm a little disappointed Joey didn't start the show off this week. We got a big matchup in our staff league. First place Joey Wright versus second place Adam Hutchison. Did you know that was going on this week? Were you trying to bury the lead on that one? We got a big matchup this week.
We do?
Yes.
I
See,
didn't
you
know
don't
that.
even-
Okay.
Oh.
No,
I've had this on my bulletin board all week.
No. I was very focused on the 6-year-old birthday event this week.
Fair.
And I was a really good person. I socialized. I met a firefighter that's playing in his first fantasy league ever. I'll be doing an interview with their entire squadron here soon. So that's going to be fun. Is that a squadron? Is that what we call them? I don't know. But they just got to let me slide on the fire pole. That's all I want to do. Like, I'll write an article about your station, but you got to let me go down that pole. So
we do have one fun narrative going on. It's not a revenge narrative, but it's so Caleb Williams going up against Jackson Dart, and Jackson Dart was the heir incumbent for the USC starting quarterback job. Lincoln Riley was hired, and Jackson Dart immediately jumped in the transfer portal, went to Ole Miss, and then Caleb Williams came in, and basically he didn't exactly take Jackson Dart's job, but he did kind of take Jackson Dart's job. So they're going up against each other today, and I mean, this could be something that we could see them multiple times throughout the year going forward in the future if both of them do establish themselves as the franchise quarterbacks for the Bears and the Giants.
There we go. All right. Now we are going to hop right back into your questions. Darren, right out the gate. Good morning, PPR, Tedero McMillan, or Jamison Williams. Jeff, which one would you be starting?
Tedero McMillan here. I understand the injury coming in, but he should be getting guaranteed volume. And I don't know, Jameson, we just haven't seen that guaranteed volume yet.
All right. Scott saying good morning to us all, and he's got his boomstick right there. It's for he understands the reference, and that's all that's important. Morning, beautiful people. Couple quick questions. I have to read these fast now because they're quick questions. May or Dart? Adam?
Drake May.
Washington or Shaheed? Jeff?
Parker Washington.
All right. Those have been a couple quick questions. All right. Cavs football 64. Diggs or Addison? Full PPR. Adam, pick one.
I think in full PPR, I'm going to lean Stephon Diggs a little bit. Kayshon Boutte is not playing this week with a hamstring injury. He's certainly eaten into Diggs' target share a little bit. So give me some Stephon Diggs.
Is he digging into his target share? No, is that not a
digging
phrase?
in? Indeed.
Digging into almost the red zone. Colts are down there. Warren just caught a nice, pretty good pass. I am not watching the game, folks. I have a little ticker that's telling me things because I'm committed to this show, but I want to let you guys know what's going on too. Fight Queen's got another question. Need a tight end and a flex. Kittle, Goddard, or Keenan Allen? Jeff, pick a tight end.
George Kittle here, and then flex. I'm going to go Dallas Goedert as the flex. I probably was supposed to let Adam pick that because usually we split those up sometimes. But.
No, you just take it. You're good, buddy. Parker Washington or Woody Marks? Adam, pick one.
I mean, it's not my start of the week if I don't pick him, so I'm going to pick Parker Washington.
There you go. That's why I teed you up. Trone Force need 2 wide receivers and a flex in PPR. Nico, Olave, Debo, Devonta, or Jalen Warren. Jeff, pick 2 wide receivers and a flex, please.
Going to go Nico Collins. I think one of the receivers, Devonta Smith, I think is the other receiver. That matchup makes me a little bit nervous, but we've seen Devonta Smith's been on a really hot streak the last couple of weeks. The flex in PPR, I'm going to go Jalen Warren here. Jalen Warren's looked like the feature back. And I think Olave would be the other one that you'd be considering, but I think Tyler Shuck gives enough reason to be nervous about going with Olave.
Perfect. That Wentz was not for you, Jeff. That was for Jonathan Taylor, not getting 3 yards and making it 4th and 1. I want to throw a little trade advice out here. If Devonta Smith and AJ Brown have kind of sluggish weeks against the Packers, go out and trade for them. The Eagles have like the best wide receiver schedule rest of the season. They have really good matchups. And if you can get them on the cheap, we know what those 2 players can do. It might be pretty beneficial to your fantasy teams. Mr. Scampers saying, good morning and go Dodgers. He just woke up from the parade, apparently. So Scampers having a good time out there. And then saying happy birthday to, I'm guessing, my daughter. So that was very nice of you, Scampers.
Happy birthday to, I'm guessing, Joey's daughter.
Yes. Eliza turned 6. So, and she was a maniac on the trampolines.
Love that.
Surprisingly, I'm not on the injury report after yesterday. I was so for sure.
Did you get on the trampolines?
Yeah, I put those non-slip socks on, And I stuck to the airbag. Like there's like you take 4 bounces and you jump to the airbag, but I was smart. I did no flips. I kept every bounce very safe. Although a dodgeball game broke out at the end of the day, and the birthday girl, I pegged her right in the leg.
You went full Billy Madison.
I did.
Party.
Never go full
so I was missing them on purpose, but she just pivoted the right way, and it was just like dead on. She got nailed, and I felt bad, but I was kind of proud too because she sucked it up pretty well.
My daughter had a trampoline party a couple of years ago, and she wanted me to jump with her, and I got the socks on, and I did 2 bounces, and my knees felt like I was going to blow every single ligament in my knees. I am too old for this, and I'm gonna go sit over here.
Honestly, it was the inflatable obstacle course that got me. That was there. I got down that slide, and I just laid there until kids started coming. Then I got up and left, but I was just like, "Oh my god, this is awful." All right. Back to the questions, folks. Sorry. Flex. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, or Tez Johnson in full point PPR. Adam, pick one.
I've been pivoting to Zach Charbonnet just because he's been more involved in the red zone over Kenneth Walker. So I'm going to go with Zach Charbonnet.
Adam, I'm sorry to see that I didn't see that we were playing each other this week because I beat you earlier this year. Isn't that correct?
I don't remember it that way. It could have happened, but all I know is I care about this week, and this is for first place.
Okay. That's good. All right. Swift or Monungai? Oh, so he's got to choose a bear. Pick a bear running back. Jeff?
I'm ranking DeAndre Swift ahead, and I think it's going to be close to a 50-50. I think that they're going to run the ball a lot. So I think both are probably solid choices.
And I think that's the correct what you said there. With like, I think they're both going to get the ball today. But yeah, Swift probably will get a little bit more work. But yeah, Monungai's more fun to say. All right. Good morning, guys. Tough PPR flex choice, assuming he's active. McMillan or Gadsden in the flex. Adam, you showed a little caution towards McMillan earlier in the show. Would you play Gadsden over him?
I would. I think I saw a stat that like for their first 4 games in the NFL career, Gadsden set the record for most yards by a rookie tight end. That's with like Brock Bowers and some other big names, obviously. So in PPR, I mean, Gadsden's been good ever since they've kind of unlocked him in that Los Angeles offense.
All right. The Falcons stop the Colts on 4th and 1. Look at them go. Falcons defense, when it wants to play, it plays good. All right. Mark's got another question for us. Tez Johnson, Kamani Vidal, Diggs, or Slayton? Pick 2. Jeff.
Tez Johnson, Kamani Vidal, Diggs, or Slayton. Give me Diggs and give me Kamani Vidal. I think that I understand Vidal had a go-off spot last week. He didn't do that, but he should still be the primary back there. And then I'm definitely taking Stephon Diggs over Tez Johnson and Darius Slayton.
All right. McMillan or Christian Watson, Adam?
Oh man, I really
give you all the McMillans.
I know, and I hate to like pile on. I was pretty skeptical about Christian Watson's involvement coming off that ACL injury, but he's looked pretty good. I think this might be the floor of like players I'd be willing to pivot off of Tedder and Millen for. I'm just a little bit nervous about that hamstring injury, so I would pick Christian Watson, but this is like getting to like the bare minimum.
Okay, that's kind of what I was looking for. I was looking like, how far are we going down before Adam's like, give me some Tet McMillan.
I was getting close.
Tet McMillan, I've been told. Hope you are having a great morning. Golfman, Florida, you're here, so I'm having a fantastic morning. Are either of Tyler Lockett or Adionne Mitchell worth an ad? That confused me all up. Jeff, would you add either of those players on waivers this week?
Not reading further into his question to drop Juwan Johnson or Fannin. I would rather have Johnson and Fannin. Probably. I think that in deep enough leagues for sure, I think that Tyler Lockett and Adonai Mitchell are both the type of players that we see down the stretch in quit games, basically, where we see some of these receivers pop off towards the end of the year.
I believe the Raiders have Dallas next week too. So if you can find somebody else to drop to grab Tyler Lockett to play against Dallas, that might be a good play. All right, tight end roster question: Loveland or Mason Taylor? He's got a Britton Strange stash. I've been stashing Strange the last few weeks. No. Sorry. I didn't even mean it like that. I just saw Adam's face. No. You should not stash. You should stash Strange, but
Okay.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. On his IR, good job. Good usage of that IR spot. I started Loveland. Should I drop Taylor to open a roster spot or to stash a player not desperate? Or do I hold? Okay. What's the question again? Loveland or Mason Taylor? Pick one, Adam. I'm going to make you answer it because you're laughing at me.
Yeah, I would. I guess I would pick Loveland.
Okay.
I can't. I got to mute myself.
Michael, I'm sorry. We're a bunch of knuckleheads over here. Brees Hall against the Cleveland defense or Woody Johnson against or not Woody Johnson. Definitely don't play Woody Johnson today. Woody Marks against Jacksonville. We're off the rails. Jeff, get us back on the rails.
I'm going to go Brees Hall here. I don't love the Brees Hall play, especially against a very difficult Browns defense, but I'm still going to go there.
Non-PPR, Travion Henderson, Keenan Allen, or Jamison Williams needs to sit one. Great show. Well, you definitely sent this earlier because this is not a very new comment. No, I'll answer this one. I would sit JMO because it's non-PPR. And I still expect Keenan Allen to get some targets. Let's go football guys. I agree. Let's go football guys. Am I crazy to start Charbonnet over Kamara in half PPR? Jeff, was Andrew crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy. I mean, they score more points than Alvin Kamara. And, at some point you would have to think Alvin Kamara is going to do Alvin Kamara things or maybe just not. And I would go Zach Charbonnet.
Right,
and Kamara's been on the injury report every single week with this ankle injury. I'm wondering if we're not getting told something. I mean, he's questionable all week. He's limited all week. He ends up playing, but there might be something factoring into his fantasy production. It could be that ankle injury.
Also, it could be the Saints.
Could be.
That too.
All right, Brad Toms, pure desperation pick. Needs two running backs here between Bam Knight, DeMercado, Chuba Hubbard, Chris Rodriguez Jr. or Jennings. And I just want to point out that Chris Rodriguez Jr. got a captain's little patch this week. If you read into that at all, I don't know if that's not anywhere on Narrative Street. That might be like an alley off of Narrative Street when they get the little captain's badge. Jeff, pick two running backs.
Pick two running backs. Boy, this is definitely a list. If they had a better matchup, I think Seattle's a horrible matchup. I was going to say, if they had a better matchup, maybe you could just double down on both Cardinals running backs and just take all the production potentially out of that backfield. I don't think you want to do that. I do think Amari DeMercado, I like that play if it is PPR. So I don't know that they're going to be able to run the ball against a difficult Seattle defense. And then, if Jennings had a better matchup, I might lean there. I might go. Let's just go with Chuba Hubbard, just on the off chance that the Panthers just blow out the Saints and Hubbard is getting some more garbage time work. Boy, I'm there on some places. I don't blame you, man, but these are some tough choices.
Yeah, that Washington running back situation is so tough to figure out every week. I know I have tough ranking it, so playing it is even tougher. All right, Tyrone Tracy, does they go up in value with bad weather in Chicago? We haven't really talked about Tyrone Tracy today. Let's just kind of have an open discussion real quick about him. Adam, are you feeling good about starting him today, or are you worried about Devin Singletary?
Yeah, I haven't really got a clear understanding of what's going on with that Giants backfield. I mean, after Cam Scadaboo went out, we expected it to be Tyrone Tracy, but I think people were a little surprised Devin Singletary was as involved as he was. Even in a bad weather, I don't know that this is necessarily a backfield that I'd really be seeking out. It depend on some options, but we've got him outside our Tyrone Tracy, that is outside, I think, our top 25 running back. So there's definitely some other options that I would be pivoting to.
Jeff, let me give you two names. Rashad White or Tyrone Tracy?
Rashad White.
Pretty confident.
I don't love a difficult matchup, but yes, I think that there's going to be more potential for points in that. I don't know. It's like, do you want to lean into the matchup with like bad weather, or do you want to lean into the teams that can actually score points but actually stop the run? So,
yeah, I'm going to be really frustrated in that Bucs Patriots game today because I think it's going to be a hard fought victory for whichever team pulls that out. Good morning, men. Oh, that's a way to start. I like that. PPR, Dart or Darnold? That's Dart. Pretty pretty confidently for me. Tet or Slayton for the wide receiver 3. Jeff, pick one wide receiver.
Tet or Slayton? Got Tet or McMillan. Maybe I'm not listening to Adam enough here, but I don't want to put Slayton in my lineup.
Well, I feel like the Tet questions I've given Adam have been a lot hard.
Yeah,
I
would pick Tet in this situation too.
Yeah. I was just trying to find the floor with him. That's why I was asking them all. Oh, Garth's here with this. If you're going to spew in this, shout out from Wyoming. Oh, I love Wyoming. I used to live in Montana, so I used to drive through Wyoming quite a bit. I need one running back and one flex for full PPR. ETN, Ken Walker, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen. Those are some good options. Pick a running back and a flex, Jeff.
A running back, give me ETN. Difficult matchup. God, there's a lot of bad matchups this week, but that's what happens when you don't have the Bengals and Dallas playing. And then one flex, DK Metcalf as the flex.
Okay, and then he's got Justin Herbert as the quarterback and is looking for the best floor in the early games. Would your answer change at all? I should have read the whole question.
No, I don't think it would. I mean, I think that
with
ETN is in for more usage, whereas Walker is more limited.
All right, we got about 10 minutes left in the show. We're getting to these questions. Good morning, guys. Need 3 for 2 wide receivers and a flex spot between Diggs, Debo, Doubs, Jamo, and Goddard. Thanks, guys. Go ahead. Adam, pick 3.
I think I would pick. I'm going Stephon Diggs. I'm going Dallas Goedert. I think he's a threat to score a touchdown any week with that Philly offense. They like to do that kind of fake tush push thing, and they like using him in the red zone. I'm torn. I'm avoiding Debo just with the Marcus Mariota thing. So I'm kind of torn between Romeo Doubs and Jameson Williams. I guess I'm going Jameson Williams. I don't feel great about it. I know that's not a very convincing answer, but it's close. It's just like a floor versus ceiling play, which is a cop-out answer, I know, but I'm going to go with Jameson Williams. He just has a higher ceiling.
All right. The Queen has a spicy one for us. Thoughts on starting Hurts or Dart? I'm looking at my rankings, and I have Jackson Dart one spot ahead of Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts this week, but I like Dart a little bit more. Would either of you start Hurts over Dart?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Jeff's
too.
pretty confident on it. Okay. So don't listen to Joey. Listen to these two guys. There's a reason I'm hosting, and they're analyzing. All right. Olave or Henderson? Jeff, pick one.
Give me Travion Henderson here on the Patriots side. I think that they, again, points in that game, but also Henderson attacking through the passing game because you can't run against the Buccaneers.
JB's grandmama, I want to thank you for being here today, and I'm not going to put that up. Coach Drew. Sup, broskies? Sitting on Gadsden, currently debating Mark Andrews Lamar's his QB1. Would you start Gadsden or Mark Andrews? Adam.
Starting Gadsden.
Yeah, I feel it's pretty good. I don't hate Mark Andrews this week, but
Gadsden's just been red hot. He's somebody I would leave in lineups.
All right, Scamper saying, gonna go ahead and need the Colts to stop sucking and beat the Falcons for a better Rams pick, please. Thank you. I guess there's some trade implications there. I didn't know Scamper's. He's a Ram. Okay, LA. Yeah, he's a Rams fan. All right, you guys rock. Thank you so much. If I would have sang at the top of the show like I threatened to do, maybe we would have rocked a little harder. Love your show. Thanks for being here, Mark. Goff or Darnold? That's a good question. Jeff, answer that question.
Goff or Darnold? Give me Goff.
Okay, I'm going to answer the DST question and say Browns over Seahawks defense. And then Adam, ETN or Vidal? Pick a running back.
That's a tough one. I'm going to go with Travis Etienne.
All right. Scampers saying, sorry, Joe. Did Scampers let one fly? And somebody was spamming in the chat, and I can't even click on it. All right. I know my team name for next year. Okay. My guys. I read that the correct way, too. Sup, Chapros. Oh, he's talking to the chat. He's not talking to us. But he wants to know Devonta Smith or Teteroa McMillan. Jeff.
Devonta Smith, definitely.
Yeah, there we go. We got there, people. Prater, Loop, Myers, or Bore, the New England kicker. Adam, pick one.
Man, putting me on the spot with a quick kicker question. Man, I'm looking at our rankings because Tyler Loop.
Tyler Loop, love it. The Baltimore kicker, correct? Yep. All right, Jeff. That'll be the last question for us this morning. Monungai or David Montgomery?
I like David Montgomery against the Commanders here because I think the Lions are going to beat the Commanders by about 5 touchdowns. So I want all the Lions here. I mean, the narrative street of a team that eliminated them from the playoffs, kind of a helpless Commanders team here. So give me that.
And Michael wanted to just make it clear that he was, hey guys, was for the panel and absolutely not for the hosts of the show. Just wanted to be clear on that.
Well, are we? I think we might be. I think we're the panel.
Oh, we're the
in
panel
this situation.
Oh,
so he didn't want to talk to the chat.
So. He doesn't want to talk to the chat. He doesn't like you guys. Although he did say hi to the chat. We're just happy you're here, Michael. Thanks for being here, buddy. And Jeff's saying 5 touchdowns. So take the alternate spread there for the Lions today. Get some moolah. Bill Krosky Merritt or Jordan Mason, Adam?
We expect Aaron Jones to play, but I would still play Jordan Mason.
Ooh. Howard's got a great question. Where do you get the Black Eye Joe hats? I'm going to throw a link for you in the chat before we go off air. I'm going to put it in right now as I ask Jeff this question, ask him to vamp a little bit so I can pull the link up. Jeff, vamp on picking a flex between ETN, Devonta Smith, and Henderson, and their opponent has Hurts. Vamp away.
Yeah, I'm taking Devonta Smith here largely because Devonta Smith's highest ranked in my rankings out of these players. And I understand that your opponent might have Hurts, and you can make all the cases for one direction or the other. By playing a wide receiver, you cancel out the potential quarterback points, or if you wanted to fade against a difficult Packers defense and hope that Hurts has a bad game to sit the wide receiver. To me, that decision rarely comes into play when I think Devonta Smith is clearly a better choice in my mind than Henderson or ETN, who are both facing difficult defensive matchups. Devonta Smith does see a difficult matchup as well, but he has been phenomenal over the last month or so. Wide receiver 3 over the last handful of weeks. And so I'm definitely playing Devonta Smith. I want that in my lineup.
All right. And I put the link in the chat. Let me go ahead and read it. So HTTPS. No, I'm not going to do that. There's a link. Go there. You can get all your cool Football Guys merchandise. Jeff has hats. I have hats. Adam has hats. We have shirts, jackets, track pants that you can't wear out of the house. Like, we've got a lot of things you could buy there in the Football Guys shop. That was a fun.
Why can't you wear them out of the house, Joey?
It's bad, guys. You can't wear those track pants out of the house. Off air, I'll tell you what we call them behind the scenes here at Football Guys. They're not joggers, but it rhymes with it. So sorry, Joe. Thanks as always, and have a wonderful day to the panel and the hosts and the chat. Peace and love. God, what a beautiful little exit message there from Scampers. Adam, do you have any final words for the people?
No, good luck to all the fantasy managers out there, unless your name's Joey Wright and you're playing me in a league. Otherwise, I want you to lose that one. But everyone else, good luck to everyone. Check back on Monday for the injury roundup, and make sure you subscribe to Football Guys.
Hey, let's come up with a side bet. While Jeff is doing it, let's come up with something to put on the line for the viewers. Like, loser has to wear something next week. We'll figure something out. That'll be fun. Jeff.
Okay.
All right. Give some final words to the people while I think of what Adam and I are going to wear. And hit us with all the beautiful things you like to hit us with.
Unfortunately, I think that we all and the Twitter hive mind as a whole really jinxed this second half of this game, because I saw a lot of conversation during halftime of basically, we finally have a good early window game, and the second half of this game has not been a good early window game. And so that's neither here nor there. I really wanted to pick Josh Allen as my start of the week going up against the Miami Dolphins, but I think picking the quarterback 1 is probably a little bit too on the nose. But Josh Allen has absolutely owned the Miami Dolphins. My daughter is a Miami Dolphins fan, and she likes to trash talk, and she hasn't had much to trash talk about. And I don't expect today that she's going to have much to trash talk either. And you go out and give yourself plenty to trash talk about. Set your best lineup, go out, get a win, lock up that playoff spot, eliminate that hated opponent, do all those fun things. But as always, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Beautiful. And normally I let Jeff end us, but Adam, I thought of what we can wear. You will wear a Michigan State shirt, which will just make you feel awful. And I will wear a Florida State shirt for whoever wins.
Okay.
And that will make me feel awful because they're the worst, not just the worst school, but just the worst place in the world. Tallahassee, Florida.
That's
never
fair.
go there, please. So that's our vote. Guys, so losers shave their eyebrows? No. I have a wife I have to keep, Scampers. Come on, Scampers. I do like the suggestion. I like where your head's at. Jogging pants to a parent-teacher conference. Oh, my goodness. Chat, we love you. Everybody, have a great week.